Hey guys, good afternoon. It's RG here, and I am so sorry for the delay earlier today, but we did get caught in a little bit of traffic coming back from Phoenix. We had lunch with a few friends that are visiting from out of town, and it was so exciting. Even though we met at 11 o'clock in the morning, we did get quite a bit of traffic because we're about an hour away or so. So we're super excited. Oh, that it's more than around 12, but it took us an hour to get there. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope that you guys are excited for today's class, and we're gonna go in. We're gonna dive in. We're gonna do a little bit of coloring so that I can start drawing. Definitely we're going to be adding some gesso to all of our brushes. Hopefully for those of you who are digital files only, you were able to gather all of your supplies and all of your materials so that we can go live today. If not, you can always replay the class and redo at your own pace. So are we excited?
We are
Yes.
excited, and just so you know who we have here, we have Donna Blatt.
Hi Donna, thanks
Hey.
again for joining us today. Sorry about the
We
delay.
have Gail, and I'm so
Hi,
sorry.
Gail.
She said she was already about to fall asleep when she heard the music.
Whoa, sorry Gail.
We scared her.
Totally Gabby's fault. Just kidding.
Nikki. Linda.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Linda. Thanks again for joining us, guys. If it makes you feel any better, it's 116 degrees here in the valley in Arizona, so it is hot. It is quite hot today out there, which is probably why traffic was a little psycho killer. Because I have a feeling that when it's hot, the cars just don't want to go. But I'm not exactly sure if that's 100% accurate information or not. At least that's just kind of my theory. It could be completely wrong. But let's go ahead and switch over to our top view so that we can start our process. All right. So we've got our two different brushes here. We're not going to worry about cutting out our digital files just yet, mainly because we're going to be doing quite a bit of painting and or adding the gesso to our projects. So if you did receive your kit, then go ahead and open up your brushes.
Well, Linda Gorman says it's 65 where she's at.
Well, that's
Kinda
exciting.
wish it was like 65.
Why is it always 65 over there? It feels like it's always either 65 or below. Below something. All right, you should have two containers of gesso. It's not clear gesso, it's regular gesso. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and apply. Now you can use either a makeup sponge or another brush to apply the gesso. It's totally up to you. Were they asked to get
And
something?
the list, yeah, they have brush.
Was it brushes? Yeah. Okay, so you can use a brush. I'm using a makeup sponge just because it's what I have right here. But you can definitely use a brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover my paintbrush with the gesso. And even to the bristles, we definitely want to add some other gesso to the bristles. And this is going to be a little bit of a messy situation, so make sure you don't get it on your really nice shirt. Oh,
Oh, you should be wearing your apron.
that was note to self. Got it. All right, so we got that one down. Let's go make sure we add it to this one. Let me quickly put my apron on before this turns into
Before it becomes a real big mess.
a mess. Well, can you fix my cola,
I will
please?
fix it.
Thank you. Gosh, it's like super hot here, guys. Not inside the house, but of course outside. And it's not even summer yet.
Feels like it. Oh, and by the way, Nikki says she's like, woohoo, I'm here on time.
Yay, Nikki.
She's funny. You're funny, Nikki.
I wasn't. Alright, so we've got both of our brushes already kind of covered in the first layer of gesso. You definitely want to close up your gesso because we're going to keep using it. We're going to add one more coat of gesso to this before we come back and add a little bit of color. Then we're going to come back and add a little bit of more gesso on top of that. So it's going to be like a little switcheroo process. Now, I do want to show you kind of towards the end of the class, if you don't want to keep these as a single unit, what I mean by that is I actually ended up gluing these together because I think it would be cute as like a little charm hanger thing, like on a hook in my office or in my studio. So either way, it depends, totally up to you what you want to use it. I do want to show you how you can potentially attach these to a canvas. Now, what I don't know is if I should show you how to do that during this process or maybe show you after the fact, because you would probably position them a little bit differently on a canvas. So if I were to bring these to a canvas, in case you're still one of those canvas kooky heads like I am, then you potentially want to put these two together. A canvas, just so I can show them. So we can have, I would potentially layer them this way and glue them directly onto my canvas. So that it kind of just pops out a little bit more, and then I would make sure that I have plenty for my background to kind of just merge into the same color. So kind of tell me guys what you want. I don't want to cheat you on it. I don't want to cheat those who want to create the project as is, and that's probably what I should do. I should just create the project as is and then kind of show venturing out or talk through it anyway about how we want to do the process for that. But we're going to set these aside for a quick sec. Just while they dry, we're going to go ahead and take out our digital file or the printed file, depending on if you're a digital only or if you actually received the kit in the mail. And we're going to start by cutting out our file. Now you can scan and cut this out. Thank you. So here's a canvas, and I just kind of want to show you because you can directly adhere these to your canvas and then create your piece on top of it, and it would look super cool too. So there's always option, guys. I just kind of want to make sure that I'm giving them to you and then I'm sharing them with you so that potentially you can make the better choice for ultimately what you want. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in and add a little bit of color to the files that I plan to use. And I am just going to use some Prisma pencils this time around.
Do these work for you?
Yeah, those are the regular size. I actually only ended up using 2 of the blooms for the actual paintbrushes, but it's totally up to you guys. Of course, you can continue to add layers. I wanted to give you more options, especially if you intend to use them for like card making or your planner. So I'm just adding color here. And I'm going to bring in some yellow. I'm going to kind of merge that yellow and that green together. And remember, right now they're just outlines, but I'm going to come back and add some Gamasol to this to blend in all of my colors and create a fuller look. I do like to go a little bit deeper in some parts of the petals because as I bring that Gamma-Sol, it's gonna showcase really nice. Alright, so I'm gonna grab some Gamma-Sol. And a blending tool. And I'm not worried about going outside the lines. I never have been. So just kind of play along. Remember, we're gonna cut this out. Now, some of you may have already done this actually. So just bear with me as I get caught up with you guys.
Are you feeling relaxed coloring?
Mm,
Because I know this is your favorite part now.
it's not. This is like the boring part to me.
What?
I know. It's like, ugh, cutting. So boring. Oh, I love to finish projects. I like to see projects being finished, and I
So, like,
love.
you can't wait for this to
I
be
can't
done.
wait. Like I can't wait to be like, ooh, and now we're gonna color this and we're gonna color that, but not like detail color like this, because I feel like it's so lengthy. Is that weird? Am I weird that way? Alright, so you can totally tell the difference between the blended version and the non-blended version, and I think that's pretty cool. Now, if you don't happen to have Gamma-Sol and you're using Prisma pencils, you can always grab baby oil. Baby oil is a good substitute. Just be very careful. You don't want to over oil or else it's going to be too oily. Just enough on the tip of your blender will create the blend that you need. Alright, so we've brought in all of our green, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend in that yellow. And it's almost going to create like an outer glow, so totally outside the lines.
So there's no staying in the lines here, huh?
No staying in the lines for me here, just because it is a mixed media project, so there's different layers and pieces that are gonna come into play, and so I'm not too concerned about that in this particular case. All right, so now I'm gonna switch gears here and blend in my pinks. And again, guys, if you've already finalized this process, then just kind of bear with me. I'm almost done here. All right, so these guys are set and they're ready for me to start cutting out. So I'm gonna trim this down a bit. And before I actually start detail cutting these out, I'm gonna come back to my brushes and add an additional layer of gesso. You'll notice that the coverage is a lot better the second time around.
Judy H just joined us in.
Hi, Judy.
There was bad traffic where she's coming from.
I know, bad traffic everywhere. I don't typically experience bad traffic because I work from home, but today
We did.
we did. And I had forgotten how horrible that is. It's like, oh, that's right. Okay, 1. And 2. Again, guys, I'm not Psycho Killer crazy concerned because remember it's a mixed media project, but you do want to cover most of your paintbrushes so that they look like a blank canvas ready for you to be able to come back and infuse some color into it. So see, they look absolutely beautiful now. Or like we're about to do something super fun.
You need me to cut? Help you cut.
Do you want to?
I
Do you want to help me cut this one, please? Don't mess it up, don't we?
I'll try not to.
Oh, snap.
You have another person
I'm
on here.
missing the other kind. Oh, there you go.
Oh, how do you see?
Like, I should have 2 of them. Alright, guys, so now I'm just going to cut this out.
And I'm sure you want me to go your style, Psycho Killer.
Psycho Killer all the way.
All
Yeah.
Got it. You know, even though we had a lot of traffic, it was still a nice little dry since we don't really get out much sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we're always kind of just stuck at home. If we're not at home, we're at the gym. And I
That's true.
feel like it was definitely nice to wear clothes for a change. What?
Like normal, regular
Like normal
clothes.
people clothes, not like workout clothes or.
I see.
Although I'm really excited for us, guys. I have some amazing plans for us here that I get to roll out within the next few months on our mixed media, on every single one of my clubs. So, depending on which club you're at, there's definitely something special that's going to come to life when it comes to actual product showcase. So, instead of just limiting it to our digital designs, we're going to be able to include different little elements in your kits that are new product launches that you're absolutely going to love and adore and experiment with and play with. And as we're able to launch stamps here shortly, it's going to be a huge part of our mixed media launch as well. So, time's of essence, I think, and God is so good and knows exactly what He's doing. And we get to be along for the ride. And I just feel a little overwhelmed sometimes and blessed. But I think you guys are going to be so pleased with kind of where we're headed and what God's doing in our lives. Because when I say our lives, I mean all of us, including yours, for being on this story with us.
So Gail Thompson says, can't wait to hear the news, and Ginger, yeah, it's part of the adventure.
It definitely is part of the adventure, Ginger. And I feel, every time I stop and reflect on all of it, I'm so excited. I feel, I can't say that I've always been excited, obviously, because I've had my ups and downs through the process, but it's so exciting. And I think that's one of the biggest things that happened for me yesterday was how exciting it was to know that I'm not wrong, that God does have us on the palm of His hands, and that, He's very much making a way and creating an amazing opportunity, not just for us, but all of the people who not only have stuck by our side, but have continued to support and be a part of this story, making it their story, and how God's gonna bless us in return for all of that. The more I read and the more I realize, that God turns situations around to glorify Him, and I know that this is going to be one of those stories that not just will glorify Him, but will bring a lot of people to know Him, and that's exciting, to say, God used me for that. I'm very, very much honored and blessed, and I realize that it hasn't been, won't be easy, but if that's what He's using me for, then it was definitely well worth it. Continues to be. So I'm very happy about that. All right. So now that I've psycho killered this guy out, and this is the smaller one. I noticed I cheated. I gave Gabby the larger one.
What?
That's gonna go on my smaller brush. Now it looks really cool, guys, if you decide you want to add it to a canvas, because obviously, you can place them both side by side. I just think it looks a little wonky. I guess it doesn't look wonky. It just looks very
Structure.
structured. But if you kind of make one upside down, it might look really, really cool. And I feel like you might get a really, really cool background. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create this one like I did our original, okay? But then I'm gonna create a second set and finish it all the way through. So that you can see how so if you don't want to put them together for this time around, don't. You can wait until I finalize this canvas so that you can decide if you want to place them this way or if you want them this way. Because I did ask them earlier if they wanted to see how I would place it on the canvas. But I feel like I should do it the way I originally designed it and not just kind of like do a little switcheroo.
Change it up on them.
Switcheroo.
Alex is on here and she's saying she's watching for Rose.
Hey Alex, wait, watching for Rose.
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure Sandra is still on here or not. She said, hello, sorry I'm late. We'll catch the replay and then off.
Bye.
So, I know, I don't know. I guess she just came and left. Or buy another set of brushes and do both.
Yeah, and there's always that option, or not just do both, but take it in a completely different direction. I feel like you have the opportunity, like once you feel comfortable with altering brushes and like the experiment, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit. You can go Psycho Killer, you can create a bird's nest, you can even do double mount, like, you know, we're gonna double mount these two together, and it just kind of creates a really cool look. And then you can potentially bring in your blooms and maybe tuck in some other ones in the back.
See, how did I do for your second color?
Oh, that's awful.
What?
It was supposed to be a direct cut, not a he loves me not. I feel like we're missing petals. Just
oh, well, I tried to do my best.
like, oh well, bye.
Bye. Take it or leave it.
Alright, so this is my largest brush here. Check it out.
Oh, so no, Sandra, she's still with us. Hi,
Oh,
Sandra.
hi, Sandra.
And she loves the brushes.
Look how pretty, guys. Look how pretty. Like, you can do some abstract. Like, if you were to cut this guy out and leave it black and white, no color. I'm just giving you ideas right now, okay? I'm just kind of like envisioning it as we speak. So pretend you just cut that out nicely, okay? Not like that. Not like this. But look, you can create some really cool ones. Maybe the other one down here, and then make the whole thing white in the background, and maybe have streaks of pink ink coming down. So pretty. Play with it. Like, I can already see that. Or if you're gonna do double whammy it, like we talked about. Look how pretty. I love it. So, and then there's so many different options and so many different opportunities to, and then you can also leave space to add the be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. Like, different options. And that's kind of my goal, is to always provide different options for you, because of course creativity is endless. And
Sandra says it's very on trend, she said.
Very on trend for shows. All right, so now what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna grab some red paint. Okay, some red paint, and we're gonna bring in that red. I know it's gonna look a little intense right now, because it is, but not to worry. We're gonna mute it down a wee bit. I love these little grid paper things.
Why is that?
Because I make a mess.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Just kind of wanted to hear your...
My explanation.
Yes.
Alright, so we've gotten our coat of red here, and you don't really need a whole lot, and this is the only time we're going to use it, so you probably have way more red paint than you need, but...
Red is really intense.
It's so intense, it's such a deep color, and it's just bloody and gory. And then just kind of bring it into the bristles a little bit. So that it's not just really on the top layer, but you're going down at least a few layers. In case somebody decides to look under your skirt or look under your hood and you're like, yes, I did it the right way.
For a minute there, I was like, what?
All right. So we've got a couple of different options here. The next step I would typically do is I would add some of the wire. Now you should have 3 strands of wire. Or hopefully you grabbed 3 strands of wire. And I'm just gonna kind of go up. Now, once you wrap it, you just kind of want to like bring that wire in and twist it a little bit in certain areas. Don't worry about it scratching your paint because we're not done with painting or applying media to this, okay? So I just kind of just wrapped it a little bit and then I just twisted it into itself. Twisted it. OMG. All right, wire, check. Got it? All right, so I'm just giving you a quick sec, guys, to kind of catch up. I know we're kind of moving fast. I'm trying to make up for the fact that Sandra was late. Just kidding, Sandra. It was really Nikki that was late. That's why. I'm going to take these Wonder Woman cuffs off because they keep dangling everywhere. All right, ready, guys? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab more gesso. So just more gesso, and then we're gonna come back. And that's what's gonna create a little bit more of that pinky color, okay? So it's gonna kind of eliminate that deep red, and we're gonna potentially do this twice, okay? So we are trying to cover the, or not cover, but add color to our wire. And you can also do this with a brush. It actually might be easier with a brush than it is with the sponge in this case, because the sponge is a very smooth application, or at least a makeup sponge is. But just kind of bear with me. Look at the difference between the two. So we've softened it up, we've added gesso to the wire. We're gonna do this one more time. Maybe it's time I open up my second one. So cool, I think. I just love the look of the altered brush. Next month is going to be a little crazy, guys, because I am going to go more paper mixed media on you. So I hope that you're okay with that. And we're going to create a little mini altered book a little bit. And I think that, again, it's going to be multiple layers and different mediums. But I
That's
kind of
gonna be
wanna
fun.
I wanna walk you through the entire mixed media opportunity or options when it comes to what can I apply mixed media to? What does mixed media actually really mean? What are the various different mixed media techniques and things like that? And so we've already played with several in our canvases, and as you can see, we're applying some of that learning into the different mixed media projects that we're going to be moving into. There is a project I want to be able to create with you guys. I'm just trying to figure out how to get it in your hands for those of you that are that are kit subscribers, and it is kind of to oxidize metal a little bit. So we're gonna alter some metal pieces or metal findings, and I want to use some patina to be able to do that. I just don't know if I can just ship out patina that way. So either A, I may add it to your supply list of things to get. It might also not be the easiest thing to find. So that's the other thing I'm concerned about. But or maybe even give you guys an online link for those of you who want a patina. I'm also a little bit concerned of some of the hazard elements that come along with that. So I may just kind of show you a sample patina and faux patina, which is going to be done with more paint. So we'll kind of play with those concepts a little bit so that I walk you through it. You get to experience it. You get to see the outcome. You get to see me do it. You get to try it. So you'll have both options depending on whether you want to actually try the patina or whether you want to do the faux patina. I'll probably dive into both and kind of walk you through the process of both. Now, patina is a liquid that oxidizes metal like that. Like you basically apply it, like it makes it rusty and it makes it, you get colors of blues and colors of greens, and it kind of depends on the patina that you actually buy and try. But it's just interesting to see it, but it has a really cool look. There are some patina faux paints and acrylics out there, so I may end up just doing that for everybody to use, but show you the actual patina itself. Did I just talk crazy talk?
Sandra says, "Ooh, I love that."
Yeah, it's really cool. I think we're gonna all enjoy that. But of course, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. All right, guys. I'm gonna grab a new makeup brush and add one last layer of gesso to lighten it up even more. I want to lighten up my project here. I don't want it to compete with my, with my roses, but I do love the mix of mediums in the background. So you've got multi-layers of the gesso as well as multi-layers of the reds or pinks now in this case. But I do love that look, that weathered look, that shabby chic look. But when we're talking about boho, this is definitely a boho look. It's got more of that shabby chicness to it.
And Gail says, "Always fun to learn something new."
Yeah, it should be fun, Gail. I think it's gonna be a blast. So check it out. See how I left some regular streaks of paint. I'm going to do that here as well. I just think it looks really, really cool. It's what I call the finishing touches, right? You're bringing in those finishing touches. Check that out. Pretty. Alright, I'm going to try to clean my hands just a little bit while our brushes are drying. And while those are drying, I'm gonna cut out my words. And on this one, I'm gonna cut out the and free because that's really what I'm gonna be using.
Sandra's sharing. And you have Aaron, brother, right? Stores.
Aaron did it.
They're going out of business, and she got scan and cut mats there for $9.99.
Really? Well, that's kind of sad, actually, that Aaron Brothers is going out of business.
Right.
Oh, Atlanta.
And then Gail says, I'm going to re-sticky my mat with Zig glue.
Yeah, I heard that works.
Yeah, that's what she said. I've heard it works well, but I've never tried it before.
All right, so we've got Stay Wild and Free. So we do love those two. Those are gonna go together. I'm gonna kind of swap out my mat here.
No, Michael owns them.
Michael's?
Mm-hmm. That's what Sandra said.
Wait, Michael's owns them and they're going out of business.
Oh, because Donna said they're moving in with Michael's, and Sandra said Michael's owns them.
Oh, they're moving in with Michael's. I see. Alright guys, so what we're going to do next is we're going to grab the tool, and we just kind of want a little bit of tulle kind of poking out. Two can be a little overwhelming, and we are going for a little bit of that shabby chicness. So it's a perfect little touch, but that's all we want is just a little touch. So we're going to just kind of double knot it, and then push that bow to the side a little bit. And it's just there to add a little bit of flap. Now remember, if you're going to, okay, so if you're going to be double, so this is good. Okay, so your one bow has to go to one side, one bow has to go to the other side, if in fact you decide you want to do this. If in fact you're going to do this, then your bow is going to come to the other side. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But those are going to be opposite.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want them colliding in the center. And this one might be a little bit longer just because it's a smaller brush. So feel free to chop some of that off. So see how in this case now they're both facing opposites. Sorry, Siri, I'm not talking to you.
On the Six is the sixth studio album by Scottish alternative rock band Biffy Clyro, which
Thanks.
was released on 28 January 2013. Do you want me to keep reading?
No, thanks, Siri.
She just wants to jump in, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
she does.
No,
I said opposites, so she was giving me the definition of opposites. Well, why thank you. Alright guys, we are going to do a triple bow. As a nice little accent to our brush and our tools. That was hilarious about Siri trying to get in our class, guys.
I know. It's like, oh, what?
I'm sorry, Siri. Are you a subscriber?
Sandra said, how rude, Siri. So rude.
Look how beautiful that is, guys. I really do love it. I think it's absolutely stunning. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to tuck it underneath the tool. I am going to add a little bit of white glue to this, but tuck that bow right underneath that tool and leave it right in the center. It just looks really cool. But we definitely want to add a little bit of white glue to keep it in place. Oh, did I leave my white glue behind?
You don't have it there?
I don't see it here. It must have stayed in the stamp room. Thank you. So same thing, we're going to do a triple bow on both sides. Okay, I'm going to do this slowly because I realize maybe some of you might not know. I mean, I know I've done it a gazillion times. So let me zoom in here. So I've got my twine, and of course this could be done with any ribbon. I have with my middle finger and my thumb, I hold with a little bit of tail. And then I just grab my index finger, and it kind of determines how big you want that bow to be. So you decide how big that, you just kind of place it. And then you're going to bring that twine around that index finger towards you around the middle finger. Then you'll create your first figure 8, back around the index finger, back around the middle finger, back around the index finger, lastly around the middle finger. Now, this entire, you want to hold them all together. This end goes right in between your fingers. You bring it up, and then as it's coming up, you're basically just going to grab the tail end of that and tie. Nice and tight, and then you've got a triple bow.
Cute.
So super simple. You guys are all going to be triple or double bow experts. So help me. Just kidding. Alright, so remember guys, we're adding it right, tucking it right underneath our tool, and with a little bit of white glue, we're going to just kind of tack that down just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, or does it keep moving on you. Nobody wants that. Just kind of hold that for a sec. Do you know what we're having for dinner? It's 6 o'clock along.
We are having
The
chicken
coast.
salad.
Blech.
Blech.
Alright, so just kind of hold it for a sec. And then what we're going to do is we're going to trim off the excess of our twine. you still want it nice and fluffy, so just kind of keep that in mind, guys. Now, what I originally did, oh, I'm sorry. What I originally did to my project is I did hot glue them together like this. So kind of at the tip of the one brush and together in the center where the holes are, where they hanging from. So I hot glued in there, and then I hot glued up here, and then that just made them so they don't move. I'm not gonna do that to these because I want to create the canvas for them. But I am gonna show you how to add the hook. So these guys are gonna kind of line up right about here.
Sandra says she had chicken tenders at Wingstop, hence why she was late.
Oh, well, that's a good reason.
She had to eat, you know.
So when in doubt,
Pop it out.
we're gonna pop out our sentiment right onto our roses. Stay wild. And free. And now we get to add them to our brushes. Now you can add them with foam squares. You know I'm going to, but you can also add them with hot glue if you, because you know you've got the wires in there, you've got the twine. So it's totally up to you. I'm gonna add them with foam squares. And I'm just gonna add a couple of them there. And I'm gonna just kind of push these guys out of the way and kind of just like play with all my petals and all my leaves so that in the event you want to do that, you can still hot glue them together. See how it's like off to the side a little bit? And then that would come right about there. Same thing, foam squares and all. So pretty, right?
Yay, Rose made it home. Hi, Rose.
Yay, Rose. You can go now, Alex. Bye. Just kidding. So beautiful. Beautiful. All right, there's one additional piece of wire, and that's the one that's going to hoop through our center, and it's gonna hoop through twice. Now this one has not been colored, so you're gonna want to color that once you have coiled it together. So we just basically wrap the edges together and it creates that hoop. So cute, right? So once we've done that, just kind of wrap them together and then all the way around. And then we've got another piece of tulle. That will kind of go around and around. So you're going to wrap it. We're going to bring it through the hole. Just kind of push it through. And don't worry about tearing your tool, guys, because it doesn't matter. We are going to, it's going to look distressed. We're going to add some paint on top of this. Still, some gesso anyway. And I'm just pushing that tool through. So now, I'm gonna tie it on the top, just a double knot. Like that. So see how the tool's now wrapped all the way around the wire. And now you can move it to wherever you want that knot, that bow to be, or that knot. I'm gonna trim off. Check it out, so pretty. Now, if you want, go ahead and grab either your dirty brush. I'm gonna grab my dirty one that has the pink in it. And I'm going to try to color in some of that tulle. And it all looks like one amazing piece. And they're just not hot glued together, but you guys get it.
Pretty.
So pretty. Now the last thing we definitely add to this project is, of course, we can add some studio resin or glaze of choice, as well as if you wanted to sprinkle on some glitter or some of that, you can do it then. It kind of all depends. I know I rushed right through this, but I hope that you guys get the project. Again, I love the wire wrapped around the brushes, as well as the added element of the twine and the tulle. The bristles already dyed and colored. This is what the back of my brushes look. Now the reason why I'm not adding the glaze on now, the resin on now, is because I'm going to be adding these to a canvas. So I'm actually going to undo these, if you don't mind. I'm gonna. No, I'm just gonna. I want to show them what I'm gonna do.
What are you gonna do?
I know it looks so pretty, but I wanted to show you how I did it.
And now you're gonna do it the other way.
And now I'm gonna undo it so that I can do it the other way. But I'm gonna have to show you the finished project later, because I don't want to keep you guys here forever, and I understand that this is.
What's 612? Just so you know.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undo my wire to separate these, because I may decide to use the wire still. Alright, so if you've got your canvas, and we've already gone, so I definitely would want to do something like this maybe, now that I've already attached my, look how cute that is. And again, I'm just kind of brainstorming a little bit, because I didn't actually create that project to begin with, but I wanted to show you how you could potentially use these differently and not just in that dangle form. I may decide to bring them all the way. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it all the way to the side so I can bring in the sentiment once I cut it out nicely. Look how pretty that's going to be. And then I'm going to bring in just the black and white portion of that. Just so it'll all come together nicely like that. What do you guys think?
I'm sure it will look beautiful once you're done with it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really nice. And bring that down probably just a tad. Super cool if I add a
Now,
little.
would you add color to your background?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna add color. I'm gonna bring in some of that pink, maybe even some of that green, like the leaves. Bring in some more leaves coming out. But check it out. What do you guys think? So today we created this one, but I'm kind of giving you options or variations here. Thoughts?
Donna says she loves it. Love it.
So amazing, guys, and I think that there's so many amazing opportunities. I love the fact that we can get together and create via this space. It actually tends to go by a little bit quicker because it's uninterrupted. I guess I should say, like, I'm not stopping to help each student finalize a project or getting caught up, because I really don't know where you're at. If you're in the process of finishing, if you're in the process of drawing, maybe something spilled, you know how those type of things tend to happen during our class. What's so great is that you have the opportunity to rewind, rewatch, and be able to bring your projects to life. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get to kind of dive in a little bit deeper into different mixed media elements. Next month, we're going to work on a little mini project, also featuring some mixed media, of course, elements that might be a little bit scary. We're going to do some ephemera overlays, as well as bring acrylics into that and splatters into that and mediums into that. So it's a little scary maybe at first, but everything's going to be cut for those of you who are receiving the kit in the mail. So it's going to be cut and potentially scored for you guys to be able to just kind of put the mini album together. For those of you who are not, I am going to create a video prior to showing you how to do the cutting and how to do the scoring and whatnot, just because I don't want to do it during the class. Mostly everybody's going to have their kits already. Or I don't know. It just depends. Let me see. I'll think it through a little bit more and see what's the best way to do it, because maybe our class participants who even already they received the kit already done or already ready to go might want to learn the process of how to cut it, how to score it. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fantastic. And do we have any questions?
So just to catch up here, Gail says, I like that you can use the large sentiment on the canvas.
Yeah.
So nice and so pretty on that twist on
Yeah.
what you did. And love the canvas idea. Linda Gorman says, Rose says they're both super gorgeous.
So super fun.
And Sandra says, I think this is a great way to change things up a bit. I love it. Looking forward to July mixed media.
Yeah, they're all going to be fantastic. My goal is to always kind of step it up, bring us out of our comfort zone a little bit, and then bring us right back into that comfortable spot. So what I mean by that is, okay, we dabbed into a little bit of this, we dabbed into a little bit of that. How do we use our digital downloads to create beautiful projects like we've done today? And how do we use what we've learned today in beautiful projects that we're going to create tomorrow? So not necessarily tomorrow, but in the future. So I'm really excited about all of those opportunities. I'm also excited. I'm going to be bringing in new stencils coming up shortly. Stencils that we're going to be using in our craft. So those of you who are getting the kit in the mail will receive the stencils in there. If you're not getting the kit in the mail, it might be a little bit difficult to do that because we're not actually mailing you anything. You're just getting more of the virtual download. So, but you can always buy the kit or the stencil on its own and have that shipped to you separately with your discount. Our club subscribers who get the kit in the mail already will automatically receive it in the mail. But again, there's so many different opportunities that are coming along our way. I'm excited. Thanks again, guys, for continuing to be the best part of RG Studio 360 as we continue to bring creativity to life and so many different fun moving parts. Now, this one might have been a little scary for some of you. You're like, I don't know if I can do that. I think as you saw, perfectly easy, very much recreatable. I can't wait to see what type of paintbrush alterations you guys get into now that you've kind of messed with this one a little bit. And next month's going to bring us a whole new different outlook. We've done canvases. We've done now more 3D items. Next month, we're going to create a little mini book with some different journaling options. And then I'm going to bring you into that patina, oxidizing metal type experience. So Always something fun, always something exciting. Guys, here at RG Studio 360, where creativity comes to life, we are super excited to have you by our side and continue to be a part of our story. Thanks again for joining us for tonight's class. I can't wait to see your projects on social media. Remember to tag us so that we can see all the gorgeous projects you've created. And until next time, have an amazing rest of your night. Buenas noches.